Internet, what's up? I'm Christiane Cordero, and you're watching the 734 from WCCO. We know most of you are about to head to work this Friday and head out the door. When you do, grab your sunglasses because we got a bright and sunny day for you ahead. Average temperatures, lots of sun this afternoon at 40 degrees. And then we're dipping down into the 30s. We're starting out in the 30s. But then later tonight and into tomorrow, we are starting to warm up through the weekend. So that's something to look forward to for sure. All right, now let's talk about this. Can you survive a day without your phone, without the internet? Today is the start of National Day of Unplugging. It's meant to help us disconnect from all of our devices and reconnect with the quote-unquote real world that supposedly exists around us. Some people are pledging to unplug for 24 hours starting at sundown tonight. These digital detoxes have become popular over the years, but we want to know, have you done one before? What do you think? How did you feel after? Did it actually help you pay attention to certain things? Maybe your dog, maybe going for a run or a walk. Or did it maybe last a few days and then you were kind of back to your old habits? Are you not interested in trying it? Let us know. Throw us all of your options out there. If you're watching on Facebook, leave a comment. We'll get through a few of those in a moment. We are following this morning, though, the COVID-19 outbreak here in the U.S. At least 12 people have died nationwide. There are more than 200 cases scattered across 19 states. No confirmed cases here in Minnesota, but the health department is waiting on test results for 10 people. Results are expected today after passengers tested for COVID-19 aboard a cruise ship held off the coast of California. A passenger on an earlier voyage of the ship died of the disease. Vice President Mike Pence was in Minnesota to tour the 3M headquarters in Maplewood yesterday. 3M is leading it's the leading maker of medical supplies. The vice president wanted to see how they're ramping up production to combat COVID-19. He talked about that in an exclusive interview with WCCO.
To see the way this company already stepped up more than a month ago to go to full capacity should be a great source of encouragement. And I want to say that to the average American, the risk of contracting the coronavirus is very low.
Karen Pence was also in Minnesota to hold a Keep America Great event in St. Paul. After his tour, the vice president traveled to Washington State, where 10 people have died from the virus. One Minnesota school isn't letting the outbreak get in the way of an international trip. Chaska High School Band and Choir have a spring break trip planned to Spain. The school says that the trip is still on for now, but plans could change. They're just listening to the CDC. Parents told us that it's not necessarily the health concerns that they're worried about, though, as the virus hasn't really impacted children. But there are other factors.
I guess I'm a little more worried about her not, being in quarantine or not coming back on time. And if they changed it to a level 4, which would say, no non-essential travel, then we would cancel. Of course we would.
We've seen hand sanitizer selling out at some stores because of the virus outbreak. That led to the push to make your own. Well, no surprise, now there's been a run on the key ingredients. Many New York City drugstores are out of rubbing alcohol and aloe vera. Remember, washing your hands often with soap and water is still considered the best defense against the virus. On that note, Titos Vodka wants to make sure there is no confusion among its customers. Was there ever? We don't know. They've spent the day explaining to people on Twitter that their vodka is not the same as hand sanitizer. FYI, it will not work to fight COVID-19. Why, you ask? Well, the distillery tweeted several times saying that the CDC requires hand sanitizer contain 60% alcohol. Titos Vodka is only 40%, therefore it's not effective. President Donald Trump travels to Tennessee today. The president will be in Nashville to visit victims of the tornado that hit earlier this week. Dozens of homes and buildings were destroyed. At least 24 people were killed there. The president has declared a major disaster in the state. And Taylor Swift is making a big donation to help with Tennessee's tornado relief. She donated $1 million to help the people recover there. She says Nashville's her home and that the losses in her state are devastating to her. It's now essentially a two-man race in the Democratic run for presidential nomination. Senator Elizabeth Warren suspended her run for presidency, calling it an honor of a lifetime. Both Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are seeking Warren's endorsement. She says she needs time to think that over. And Tulsi Gabbard is the only other Democrat in the race, but has no realistic chance of winning that nomination. It took decades, but the city of Minneapolis is close to finally getting its wish of reopening Nicollet Avenue, where Kmart now stands. It's hard to miss this Kmart on Lake Street. It splits Nicollet Avenue into two. The store was built in the 70s and has a lease that doesn't expire until 2052.
It's perhaps one of the worst urban planning decisions made in the history of Minneapolis.
Yeah, if only you could just drive right through it, right? Well, the city announced a $9 million deal to essentially do just that, ending the lease, reopening the road. City Council, though, still has to approve that deal. In Health Watch this morning, important advice for expecting parents. New research from Yale suggests stress during pregnancy can have lifelong impacts. Scientists gave mice a stress hormone in the womb and found it actually altered their immune responses. That could decrease their ability to fight infections and tumors. Good news for olive oil users, though. The American Heart Association says consuming more olive oil. Yep, I'm still on hand sanitizer over here. Consuming more olive oil will lower your risk of a heart attack. Researchers say people who ate at least half of a tablespoon of olive oil daily had a 15% lower risk of cardiovascular disease and a 21% lower risk of coronary heart disease. Disney Pixar's new animated adventure opens this weekend. Check it out.
Spell brings him back.
Back like back to life? He wanted to meet you more than anything.
Chris Pratt and Tom Holland lead the voice cast of Onward. The animated feature follows two brothers as they travel across a modern fantasy world on a magical quest. And should be pretty cool from Pixar there. Looking forward to checking that out. But let's get back to today's talker. We're talking about a digital detox and how people felt after. We're not talking about Titos and what I was still thinking of when we were
a different kind of
talking
detox.
about, talking about olive oil.
It's Friday,
We're
right?
bringing in Eric. Yes, it's Friday. What are people saying?
Most people are saying they think they could. Spencer is one of the exceptions. He says it's his lifeline to his job. He can't unplug. Plus, he thinks he would start to get the shakes.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably in the same boat. Ann says, I don't think I could survive without Facebook, and presumably by extension, the 734.
Thank you, Ann.
And Katrina says, easy for me. I work from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. tonight, which it goes for a full day.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's 24 hours.
She would have to unplug tomorrow as well.
Maybe that means she goes to bed when she gets home.
Yeah.
Because she works an overnight shift.
The fact that I would struggle with it so badly makes it tempting, because that does, I think, reflect it, but I'm not actually going to do it.
It's always fun to try and quit something and then
realize,
not as fun when you fail.
Right, exactly. And then you have to talk to people
Then you have to
instead.
Drink Titos.
That too. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. That's it for now. This is the 734 from WCCO, when most of the Twin Cities are on the go. So go ahead and make us your place for mobile news. We'll be back here on Monday at 7:34. Until then, enjoy the sunshine and the internet.